What's up, everybody? It's your boy Kai Gibson, aka Red Six. And y'all already know what time it is. We got another banger to be able to drop on my YouTube people. Today we're gonna have a run the play section inside of this YouTube video today. I'm gonna break down exactly how do we effectively go throughout with American Express and get ourselves with a newly opened business over 50 to 100K. Majority of people, when they approaching banks, they do it in unknowingly way, right? I tell people, like, if we walking inside of banks, we want to be in the same way like if we walking inside of an apartment, right? You got the qualifications for the apartment and you cross off X, Y, and Z. So therefore, you know, hey, listen, when I'm walking outside the apartment, I got an approval. And I ain't just guessing whether I'm about to get the apartment or not. When I got the qualifications inside of my hand, I know what I need in order to be able to get the approval, right? But see, the thing is with American Express, what most people miss is this is a relationship built bank. Any other bank, see the difference between a relationship built bank and a lot of these corporate banks, right? These big financial institutions is they really care more about their shareholders, right? Like when we see usual banks like Wells Fargo, banks that are not usually considered as a relationship built bank, we normally tend to end up going to these banks because we hear about them a lot, right? Like, oh, Wells Fargo is known to give out a lot of money for businesses, right? But we don't recognize that, oh, Wells Fargo care more about their shareholders than they do about their customers, because when the shareholders' money start to break down, that's when they start giving less out, right? Their funding rates are going to depend on how close in relationship they are with their stockholders, all right, with their shareholders. So, cool. What do I mean by a relationship built bank? Relationship built banks like American Express, Navy Federal, when we go throughout with these banks and we build a relationship first and then ask for funding on the second side, this is when we're actually able to max out on any relationship built bank that we go to. Now, inside this channel, I also give you guys a play on Navy Federal when it comes to relationship building and how we actually max out at the total. But let's go ahead and go over the American Express 100K play. This is coming directly out of the 100K Crash Course community, right? If you guys are wanting to be a part of that, saying, hey, listen, I need mentorship, somebody to take me to the next level within the next 30 to 90 days, Rich Secrets University will be inside the description and the comment section for you guys, all right? So let's go and get this thing started. The average person, when they're going to American Express, this is usually what they end up doing. Like, let's say that I'm somebody that's trying to be able to go out and apply for a business credit card, because this is usually what we hear of American Express, right? The Platinum, American Express Platinum, American Express Gold, Plum. We hear about all these American Express cards, and we're excited to be able to go out and apply for our first. But once again, we don't realize that it's a relationship built bank. So I should build the relationship first before I actually go out and seek for funding from these companies, right? But the average person, what they do is, hey, listen, I got a 700, I got an 800 credit score. Let me go ahead and go out and apply for this American Express Plum card, because I know they're going to give me approval, but I don't really know the limit. And this is the problem. See, when we use something called comparable credit, right? And we're not going to, this is going to be another time for another video, but when we use something called comparable credit, that says that, hey, listen, if I'm going out to seek for $50,000 worth of funding, if I'm personal guaranteeing for this business, I need to make sure on the personal side that, hey, listen, I got comparable credit to that $50,000, at least $25,000 to $30,000 showing on my personal side. That way it shows when I go out and apply for the business, hey, listen, I'm responsible enough to be able to hold this money. So, saying that, average person goes out and applies for one credit card at one time from American Express without building the relationship. And they end up walking out with the lower end of the stick. Yes, they might walk out with a platinum card of $25,000 on one card. But what if they actually missed out on $75,000 simply from building a small relationship with American Express? I'm gonna show you guys exactly how we do it the right way and walk out with at least 50 to 100K from American Express. All right. So the first thing is build a relationship with them, right? How do we build a relationship with American Express? The best card I tell everybody to be able to go out for, which is going to be a fair credit approval, is going to be the Everyday Rewards card. The American Express everyday rewards card, right? It's going to be an easy approval for you, and it's not about the amount that you actually get approved for, right? It doesn't matter if we get a $2,000 approval, $5,000, $10,000 and up. The whole point of going out and getting this personal credit card with American Express is to build a relationship first, right? So we go out and get this everyday rewards card, and what I want to make sure I do is I keep it in positive standing for at least 60 to 90 days, all right? I let the card cycle enough. 60 to 90 days, I refer a majority of people to use 91 days because it's the best time when credit cards actually cycle. Every 91 days, you should be applying for a new credit increase for the card as long as you are keeping it in positive standing, right? But let's say we go hard for 90 days on keeping this everyday rewards card in positive standing. Now, what we did is built an internal score with American Express. See, this thing about relationship built banks, they're not as lenient on your personal credit score when you have a relationship built with them because they built their own internal personal score on you, on how well you actually keep the accounts. Do you keep them in great standing? How long have you actually had them? All these are going to be a determination on what you actually come out with funding on the business side, right? So I keep this everyday rewards card for at least 90 days in positive standing. Now, this is one I want to go shoot for the GOAT. But I'm going to tell y'all where most people actually miss out on thousands of dollars at, right? Now that I built a relationship with them, somebody will still go out and say, hey, listen, I want to go out and apply for one credit card at one time. I want to go out and apply for the platinum card, right? Or I want to go out and apply for just the gold card. And y'all are not realizing that, hey, listen, there's something called credit stacking. Let me get everybody to drop that down below inside of the video, right? Credit stacking. This says that, hey, listen, if I'm informed enough about credit stacking, I'm not going to one bank and applying for one credit card at one time. All banks are controlled and communicate through 3 bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experience. So when I'm going out and applying for one credit card at one time, I'm only applying at one bureau. Like I'm only applying at TransUnion or I'm only applying at Experience. Why am I not maxing out and knowing that there's 3 type of bureaus? I'm only applying for one at one time when I could be applying for 3. I'm only walking out with 25K in one day instead of 75K. So let me show y'all the right way to be able to approach American Express, right? Now that we built that relationship, we don't want to go over and apply for just one credit card at one time. I teach my students some inside of the 100K crash course about the 5-second inquiry. And what the 5-second inquiry states is it takes 5 seconds for one bank to communicate with the other. So that means if I go over to US Bank and I apply for funding and then I try to mosey on down to Chase, right? After 5 seconds, that inquiry now reports to my personal credit score, and now they're able to know that I've been applying for funding. But see, the way we make sure we get around that is either 2 ways. Either I can be the person that approaches a different bank that pulls from a different bureau, and I can get the funding that way, or I can approach one bureau all at one time. That's only 2 ways to be able to beat the 5-second inquiry, right? I go out and I apply for funding from US Bank. If they pull from TransUnion and I go over within the next day to Chase that pulls from Experience, these are 2 different banks that pull from 2 different bureaus. So they are not able to be aware that I apply for funding from both of them. That's the first way. Second way is approaching just one bureau at one time. So I might have multiple credit cards that I'm applying for at one time, but they're all from the same bureau. If I'm able to squeeze in between that 5-second period, I'm able to apply for multiple at one time. So this is how it goes throughout with American Express. I want to simply go up, open my laptop up, right? It doesn't, a lot of people like, damn, well, to apply for multiple credit cards, don't you need multiple laptops? No, you need one laptop, 3 tabs opened up, all right? I don't suggest my people go out and apply for just the platinum card. What I say is open up 3 tabs. The first tab, I want you to go to the platinum card application. Second tab, I want you to go to the gold card application. And then third, I want you to go to the plum card application. Yes, we are applying for 3 American Express cards at one time. This is how we actually pull the 5-second inquiry rule, right? Now, what I want to do is I want to fill out each one of those applications 99.9%. So I don't want to fill them out all the way. I want to get all the way until I get to that pre-approval button and I don't press it on each one of those tabs. Now, all I do is once I got all of them filled out 99.9%, I simply press on the pre-approval button, press it, all at one time. Now, what's going to happen is we've been able to squeeze between that 5-second inquiry, and you're going to see multiple approvals happen at one time. How? Because TransUnion is not able to actually, I said TransUnion. Equifax is not actually able to be able to receive that you apply for multiple credit cards at one time. So therefore, you're not just going to receive one credit card approval when you apply for 3. Now, I've seen in most cases, the con to this is, I've seen in most cases at the least, people get approved for at least 2 of American Express cards and not all 3. But I've never seen all 3 denied unless you're walking inside of there not knowing the qualifications of American Express, which we talk about inside of another video. All right. But this is going to be how we actually pull out over 50 to 100K with American Express easily. We build the relationship first, and then we go out and seek to use the credit stacking methods on American Express. If you guys want more plays just like this, make sure you check out the Risk Seekers University and tap in with your boy inside of the comment section. And y'all already know, until next time, it's your boy Kai Gibson, aka Risk Seekers. And we out, YouTube.